What's up, guys? Today we're going to be predicting the college football playoff dark horse candidates that we have for each conference. So, Preston, who do you have for the SEC as your dark horse candidate?
My SEC dark horse candidate is going to be University of South Carolina Cox. The
Why the
reason I
Cox,
have that is
Preston?
because this year they have a Heisman frontrunner to me in Lenore Sellers. He's a stud. He's going to do great things this year for him. But off the edge, they also have a beast in Dylan Stewart, and they have a great front seven along with a great DB room. And they'll need that. They're going to be playing at SEC. And to me, if they win the games they're supposed to win and pull off a few upsets, then they can definitely sneak into the playoff. But if they pull off a few upsets where they really shouldn't be winning, they could get a bye game. What about you?
Absolutely. I'll say, going off what you said, I think South Carolina has a chance to be really good this year under
For
with
sure.
Sellers under center for sure. I actually have the Florida Gators. I'm really high on DJ
Okay,
Lagway this year. I also think he could be a Heisman candidate,
for sure.
dark horse for that. DJ, he's former five-star recruit. Had Baylor up there for a second because his dad played at Baylor, but I do
Hmm.
think DJ is going to change the culture at Florida because the last 10 years they haven't been like the Florida that they have been in the past. So I do think this year they could get some quality wins. I know they have a pretty tough schedule, but if they can win some of those games they're not supposed to win, that Florida Gators team could be in the playoffs very easily.
Yeah, but for me, for Florida, as long as DJ stays healthy, because he's never had a big injury, but he's always had these small injuries that are just lingering on and on.
Yeah,
But if he
and
can stay healthy, then for sure Florida's up there.
Billy Napier, he's a great coach, so I think he'll have his
Sure.
team ready for this upcoming season.
All right. Now moving on to the Big 12. Who's your team?
I'll let you take a guess. Who do you think my team is, Preston?
I'm gonna go with Cincinnati.
Wow. The Baylor Bears. All right. Baylor won six of their last six games because of the regular season last year. The Bears were hot. They lost their bowl game to LSU. Yeah, they had some players that weren't playing. Okay, whatever. I think Baylor coming into the season is going to beat Auburn, and this team is going to be on everybody's radar. They do have a really tough schedule, but if Baylor could prevail and win some of these games, the Bears could easily make the college football playoff, in my opinion. That's just in my opinion. Not trying to be biased, but I do
It's
think
fair.
Baylor has a really good shot with Sawyer Robertson, and Bryson Washington. Great duo they have there. So I do think the Bears can make some noise for sure. Who do
All
you
right,
got?
before we move on from Baylor, week
Uh,
one, Auburn versus Baylor. What's your score prediction?
I'm gonna go Baylor 41-34. It's gonna be a shootout.
41-34.
What do you got?
Blackout on the Brazos. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
take I'm gonna take Auburn. I feel like
Whoa,
honestly,
whoa.
I'll take it Auburn. And honestly, I don't think it's gonna be close. Give me 41-14 Auburn.
Are you
I
serious?
know. I'm
Nah, you're
serious.
way traded, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay.
It just
All
means
right.
more.
I'm just gonna
Means
pretend you
more.
said I'm gonna pretend you didn't say any of that. So who do you got winning the Big 12? Or as your dark horse,
My
excuse me.
dark horse candidate is gonna be the TCU Horned Frogs.
The TCU Horned Frogs. Why TCU?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. They have a stud at quarterback in Josh Hoover. He can
I
absolutely
thought
sling it.
isn't he a furry
He's
though?
gonna be a stud this year, and you can't forget. I don't know if it's true, but it has been on the internet that he is a furry.
He is a furry.
I don't, but maybe that'll make him defenders not want to tackle him or something. You never know. They also have a safety in Bud Clark who's gonna do. He's gonna be amazing for them this year at the back end, making plays all over. And as long as Hoover can stay consistent, and if he can get TCU hot, TCU can win games, especially in the Big 12. And if they can make it to the championship and win it, that's an automatic playoff bid right there. So if they can get hot, then they can for sure make some noise.
Absolutely. Those are some good takes. Even with the furry at quarterback. So we'll see.
Hey, maybe that'll unlock some superpowers.
You never know, man. I guess we'll find out. All right. Jumping into the Big Ten. Who do you got?
The Big Ten, my dark horse team is Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. Why Illinois?
Yeah, for me, I feel like this team could really sneak up on some of these big teams and pull off some upsets because they have a really solid group this year. And they had a pretty good year last year. And if they build off that and just get better and better, then they can make some noise. And like I said, just mentioned, if they can pull off some upsets, then they could really sneak their way up there. They're not the biggest name in the Big Ten, but if they win the games that they're supposed to win and a little bit more, then they could really make some noise and sneak in the playoffs.
For sure. I could see that happening. Most
They also have a
definitely.
great quarterback, forgot to mention.
They do have a really good quarterback.
What
For
about
me,
you?
I personally have the Indiana Hoosiers. You know, last season they started off what 10-0 under first year head coach. You know, I know they didn't have a great schedule, but still that's really impressive.
They still don't.
Um, yeah, okay, yeah, carrying off of that, they don't really have an impressive non-conference or impressive schedule for the entirety of the season. So that's another reason why I had them as a dark horse candidate. You know, I think if they're 11-1, 10-2, maybe they're gonna get some love from the poll voters. So I could definitely see this team sneaking into the college football playoff.
For sure, for sure. They could be sneaky.
They could be very sneaky.
All right, and now let's move on to the ACC. Who's your ACC team?
I'm high on this team. I got the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, man.
All right,
I'm taking Georgia Tech, you know. Haynes King back at quarterback. Georgia Tech last season they finished 6-7. And they finished
six,
6-7.
seven, six,
Six, all right,
seven.
lock in. But I do think this year they're gonna be a lot better than they were last year. They're gonna have more experience under the belt. They're returning a lot of key players. Haynes King, he can ball. He's a stud. And
Isn't he a former A&M quarterback transfer?
he is something like
I'm
that.
pretty sure
Yeah.
A&M from that 2020 class, they have like four different starting quarterbacks out there on different teams right
That's
now.
insane. That's insane. But
Continue.
yeah, going off of that, they have a lot of returning starters, so I think that this team's gonna be more experienced and they'll be ready for a relatively weak ACC. I know they have Clemson early in the year, but other than that, Georgia Tech could really make some noise.
All right, for me, my dark horse team is the Pitt Panthers.
The Pitt
I'm
Panthers,
really
ooh,
high on Pitt this year, and for me, I feel like they could definitely win the ACC if they have a couple upsets, and especially if they win the games they need to win and should win. If they get a few upsets, then they can really make some noise. And Kyle Lewis and Desmond Reed, they're gonna have a huge year for them playing behind the ball on both sides.
who do
And
you
like you mentioned, the ACC is kind of weaker than other conferences at least. So I think that's the easiest conference to really take over besides the Big 12 because it's anyone's conference. But they could really sneak up in the ACC and win a few games.
who do you got winning the backyard brawl though? West Virginia or Pitt?
Pitt, come on, man.
Wow, okay. All right. Just thought I'd ask. All right. That leads us to our final dark horse candidate. It's not a power four, not a power four conference, not a power four team. It's our group of five dark horse. Who do you got, Preston?
I got San Diego State.
San Diego State. Is Kawhi playing football this year? Why San Diego State?
I don't know if you know about this, but San Diego State, but they have a stud edge rusher. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that. I'm not really, I
It's
gotta
Trey
get my ball
White.
knowledge up with them.
Trey
Okay.
White. And
And you
they
think
also have a corner named Chris Johnson. No, not that Chris Johnson, but this Chris Johnson, he's fast, but if them paired together, they could have one of the top non-power four defenses in the whole nation. And they could even be up there in the top 20, 25 defenses in the whole nation if they really want to. So if they can get hot and win their division, then they could easily make it.
then wait till they're playing a road game at 7 p.m. on a Saturday night in Georgia. See how that goes.
All
But
right, man. Who you got?
I got the UNLV Rebels. Dan
You got
Mullen,
the unction.
I got the unction. I think I saw it on X. It was like last chance you. Somebody posted. It's crazy. But
Yeah,
you
they got
know, we
like
got
Justin Plow, Alex Orji,
yes.
some other
Hey,
guys.
they might have a squad. But Dan Mullen, first year there, you know, he's a fantastic head coach. You know, he should still be coaching. But hey, you know what? UNLV, fresh start for him. So good for him. He's a great coach. He's gonna have this program ready. They're coming off their best FBS season ever last season, believe it or not. They went 11-3, actually winning the LA Bowl, which I did not know. I mean, I knew they were good, but I didn't know they were 11-3 good last season. And
They're on that option, baby.
they made their first appearance in the college football rankings last year. So this team's on the rise, you know, and they're predicted to finish second in the Mountain West this year behind, you know, Boise. But this team is definitely on the rise, and I can see this team making some noise. So that's my dark horse, man.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap up our video today, y'all. Thank y'all for watching and listening to our dumb jokes. But That's gonna wrap up this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys.